This is The Process Shot. I'm Michael. I'm stuck in a haunted movie theater, and I've seen We Met in Virtual Reality, a new documentary from Joe Hunting, which, unsurprisingly, is set entirely within VR Chat, a virtual reality game, or social network, or chat program, or whatever category it belongs to. Taking a step back from finding a more traditional narrative, it looks at the people who have made VR Chat a daily outlet for communicating with others. And more directly, we get to see the relationships that began and have grown between some users through VR Chat. Alongside these individual stories, we're shown how, even this early in its existence, virtual reality is being treated not so much as a gimmick, but a true place for communities to meet and for people to be themselves, if not the kind of person they want to be. One of the most notable things about this film is that it doesn't dwell on the greater topic of whether or not a VR setting can or should try to replace real-world experiences or locations, nor does it spend time on the inherent differences between virtual and physical reality. From the start, this world is completely normalized, both by those within it and in how the film treats the digital environment. It's not even that difficult to get accustomed to the idea because of how everybody we see has already come to accept that concept themselves. And so the focus is more upon how their lives have been changed by the interests and activities that they have found through VR, as well as those that they have met. The stories of the couples that we do follow are relatively similar, defined a bit more by what they specifically do within VR Chat, but it's still helpful in showing how they've come to see this reality as an outlet through which they can do things that aren't as feasible or aren't yet possible outside of the game. Or even just to rehearse or roleplay things that are possible before they have a chance to do them. We're also able to see some of the other activities and environments within VR Chat outside of these specific contexts, but the movie doesn't have too many of these sorts of vignettes, which doesn't take away from the final film overall, but still feels a bit absent over time, as does the greater questions or explorations of how a person can use VR to express themselves in ways that the real world can't allow. Moving on, being filmed entirely within a video game, it should not be surprising to hear that the technical elements of the film are pretty mixed, with frame rate being the primary factor in terms of visual quality. Audio quality is equally hit or miss, as most dialogue comes through user microphones that may or may not be hindered by their own internet bandwidth speeds. Cinematography is generally limited to flat shots, likely a limitation of the game itself not having the tools necessary for anything more advanced. But on the plus side, it does more immediately put the viewer into the world, not just in terms of point of view, but also in the sights and sounds of the actual VR experience. Worlds can be packed with a high number of strangers and friends, with multiple conversations overlapping each other, but they can also be limited to nothing more than two people, with no other environmental noises but whatever they have to say. And yet they all still feel as if they are places that could exist in reality, or have always existed. That idea is, again, the major goal of the film, and it's one which is accomplished right away. After that, it's able to sell the case for VR further by showing outright how it has changed lives for the better. It's a pretty simple premise, and I'm being a bit redundant talking about it, but the film is a great illustration of how essential VR has become for some people and how it could become a day-to-day outlet for others. We Met in Virtual Reality, Joe Hunting, 2022. 4 stars. I'd recommend giving it a watch. That's it for this review. If you liked it, leave a like. If you have something to add, leave a comment. Subscribe to the channel for more reviews. I do wish the movie had more scenes that were just coasting through VR chat and showing off what people have to offer or have accomplished. Maybe they'll make a sequel.